Coming off an extremely positive jobs report last week, surging oil prices are now the #1 threat to the U.S. economy, according to financial services company Moody's. U.S. oil prices are now approaching $90 a barrel, and they could go even higher. Global prices are already higher than this. Moody's economists fear that prices will continue to climb amid concerns over the war in the Middle East and the war in Ukraine. They could escalate. The national average for a gallon of regular gas right now is $3.59. It's 6 cents more than last week, though it's actually the exact same price as it was this time last year. North Dakota's average is $3.41, Minnesota statewide $3.32. Today, President Biden announced his latest plan to try to reduce the nation's student debt after his first plan at widespread forgiveness was shot down by the U.S. Supreme Court. The new plan would cancel all debt for borrowers who have been paying undergrad loans back for more than 20 years, or 25 for grad school, or for those who are eligible for other types of forgiveness programs but just either haven't applied or were rejected on technicalities. It would also provide forgiveness for Americans facing hardships, including certain disabilities or health care issues, and for those with degrees from low financial value institutions, including schools that closed or were decertified since you were there. And it would also reset student loan balances for borrowers who've seen their debt grow despite making payments because of unpaid interest.
We're giving people a chance to make it. Not a guarantee, just a chance to make it.
Now, these plans aren't expected to be finalized for months. They'll likely be also challenged in court. North Dakota has 2 more people taking home big winnings from Powerball. Lucky winners from Saturday night's drawing were sold at KVLY in West Fargo and the Super Pumper gas station in Devil's Lake. The tickets were worth $150,000 apiece. The single $1.3 billion winner was a ticket in Oregon.